Heavenly Father, bless us as we gather here this afternoon. Bless our deliberations, unite us in our efforts, and guide us in our decisions as we strive to meet the obligations of our profession. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
The papers are in your agendas down on the inside of your roll call. Carolyn, that's what I promised you. Well, oh, thank you so much.
We'll have a roll call by the secretary.
Ms. Armstrong, Ms. English, Pauline English, Ms. Lott.
Here.
Ms. Templeman here, Sister Mary Christian.
Here.
Sister Lewis Mary Battle.
Here.
Ms. Jacqueline Graves, Ms. Graves, Mrs. Inez Stanley, Ms. Mary Gamage.
Here.
Ms. Gladys Garland,
Present.
Ms. Kay Hoffman,
Here.
Ms. Cynthia Mallory.
She is on the faculty down at that workshop. We were both on it, so I came and she couldn't make it.
Mrs. Marilyn Rosenkrantz,
Which workshop is
Ms.
that?
Francie Busey.
She has to go to the dentist.
Oh, yeah.
started
my
to-
She tried to get Sherry Tiller to come, and Sherry's got a sick husband and she couldn't come, so.
Mrs. Elizabeth Langford,
She may be a little later.
Ms. Doris Hanson,
Here.
Ms. Sarah Stedman.
Well, now, who did I say went to the dentist up above there? It's Miss Stedman that went to the dentist.
Miss Bussey has to work 3
Oh, yeah,
left.
Miss Bussey, yes, she's on a new assignment and couldn't.
Stedman is
Please
not
excuse
here.
me, that's right.
I was
She
wondering
called.
what she was doing.
No, she's gone on a new assignment, said she couldn't be here.
Ms. Lewis.
Got the signals mixed.
We do have a forum. Your minutes have been circulated. What is your wish regarding the minutes of the meeting of January the 8th?
Anybody didn't get any? You may know I have a few extra copies.
I move that we accept them as circulated.
I second the motion. Been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as circulated. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They are approved. I think now may be as good a time as any to announce that we got very quick action on the recommendation of the private duty section and asking for special representative from A&A to come to the 5th District as regards setting up levels of nursing. There's a long story behind this, and I won't go into it other than to say that it did go to the state board. The board passed it, a little bit altered, but it was passed, and we have Mr. Hudson himself coming on April the 1st, and he will be here all day, and you will soon be getting a letter about the schedule of events that day. I do hope that you will put it on your calendar until you do get the letter and see wherein you will be fitting. Your president did attend the 2 days at the board meeting of the Georgia State Nurses Association. There were 4 meetings, and I don't think I will say anything more about that right now. The main thing that we proposed was this special representative from A&A.
Madam Chairman, may I ask something right here? In reference to Mr. Hudson coming, our rules in private duty in the section, anything that happens in the district has to be on a state level also, if I'm correct. And I just wondered, while we're having a discussion with him, I'm just asking for information, if it wouldn't be wise to have Miss Ditchfield to it. She is, well, good.
That would, in fact, the motion that got passed was not to be just this district. It did include
No,
the
I
state
mean,
because we did have problems all over the state. However, he is coming to us,
well, that's what I
and Miss
meant.
Ditchfield is being invited to meetings. We'll have a report of the secretary.
I don't have one other than the minutes, which we've already approved.
And we have the treasurer's report.
Carolyn, what report am I supposed to give?
That's your audit, sister, for us. We don't have a January and February monthly report for you. 2 reasons. He didn't give us our books back until, I think it was Wednesday. And we had to get with the audit. We thought your audit would be enough anyhow, and I haven't even started the books because it has to be in a new system. And it won't be as much, but it'll be much more detailed in 3 different sections. So we'll have you one for next time to make up. We do have our audit, and then the registrar has their report. So you read those 2, sister.
Okay. Well, Carolyn, how much of this audit do you give? Do you just say
Oh.
because we're audited in, because it's a lengthy report.
It's
You
a
know,
very
last
lengthy
time
one,
we
and
spent
you know,
copies.
the first page is just a routine letter to tell you it's been done according to Hoyle. And the next page gives our liabilities and assets. I usually read those 2 pages. The first is just a statement that it has been done according to the rules and regulations.
Okay. Well, the assets for the year ending December 31st, 1967, in the general fund, $220.16, and the nurses savings account for Atlanta, the Federal Savings and Loan Association, is $1,000, and the office change fund is $25, and the office of furniture and fixtures at cost $1,651.63, with a total of $2,896.79. And the liabilities in nurses' equity, unremitted payroll taxes, $387.12, and dues, I guess it's supposed to be dues to Georgia State Nurses Association,
Actually, A&A, it will go to, it was, their old standing was it would go to GSNA. We thought it would go that way, but
Let's go to A&A.
that's right.
$304.50, and the nurses' equity, $2,205.17, with a total of $2,896.79. And the balance for December 31st, 1967 is $2,205.17. I move that this report be placed on file.
Have to
Don't have to do that.
approve this
Have
from
to
the
approve
system.
We have to approve it.
The rest of them are all placed on file, but the auditor.
Isn't that right, Ms. Approve it.
Adopt, no, you adopt the auditor's report.
I'll make a motion in that we accept this report. Can I make that?
Adopt it.
Adopt it?
Adopt it.
Okay, adopt the report. Carol, I have to see you before the meeting. Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt the report.
I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the report of the auditor. Any discussion?
Any questions they may want to ask?
Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The auditor's report is adopted.
What, the Fifth District Registry Report? This is for February of '68, the financial report of the Nurses Professional Registry. brought forward from January is $5,182.38. And deposits, membership dues and billheads, $1,433.29, which makes a total of $6,615.67. The disbursements, including salaries, $1,049.17, rent, $125, telephone, $49.81, Keystone Press, $17.78, Miller's Bookstore, $2.89, Betty Longley, florist, $10.30, District Directory Internal Revenue Quarterly Report, $287.04, which gives a total of $1,541.99. And clearing the bank is $5,073.68. Checks out $492.82, which gives a total of $5,566.50. I put this on file. I move this be placed on file.
Isn't that the audit?
That's
Or
the-
monthly?
that's the registry.
Monthly, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
I thought she said audit.
I second motion.
It's been moved and seconded that this report be placed on file. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The report will be placed on file. Here we have a report of the Executive Secretary. I believe Carolyn
I
gave us a
typed it,
written
and I want
report.
to tell you, I started last night and worked through, we got in a report Friday on the coding of these new numbers, the central billing. It's going to simplify it when they get it on a system and we all understand it. But it's been really extremely difficult, and we've had so many calls, and people do not mark the sections. One thing you might caution your group, there are 11 sections on the membership report. Georgia only has 6. They are listed here. So when a person puts themselves in the school nurse, or when they put themselves in a general duty nurse, and right down at the bottom put administrator, and then CEF, you've got to find out what she means on that, and that's extended care facilities, and she is really not in the general duty section, she's in the administrative section. So it's been a little bit complicated, and many of them have not even filled them out. But I started this morning, I have had 4 reports ranging from 51. We finally got $500 in the middle of January. We will still have that little $200 first of the year. And then we got a report in the middle of January. They're giving us 2 a month. We have had 4, and this is off Friday. And I broke them down so you'd see how we're running along there, and we are 152 ahead. But that doesn't mean we're going to have to really work very hard on membership now, because we're going to have to make up a little bit we had to take out of our savings on that. And I didn't mention on here the activities have been carried on. We have been very busy. One of them, we had the dinner planned at Stouffer's for Miss Lambert. We sent out 70 invitations. We had 10 people there. It was a very nice meeting. We were a little disappointed we didn't have a larger crowd, but I did put on here, sister, how much money we did have in the bank statement. The last one we had was $5,110.09, so we're a little bit better off now than we were at the beginning of the year, and you will get a statement on that as soon as I can get the book started. The new system is going to be entirely different from our old, and the auditors told us how to set it up. Call your attention to the names down here. They were brought to a meeting and were not on your membership list, but were approved. And when we get down to the membership report, we ask that you add those to your list. It's been very busy.
Thank you, Carolyn. And standing committees, Merle, you want to talk about program?
I think everybody has the notice of the program for this Thursday. I hope that it will be an excellent program and would urge all of you to solicit attendance. Now, the program for May, we have secured a speaker. Dr. Williams, Harry Williams, has agreed to be our speaker in May.
Gonna have Timothy Leary too.
Well, we haven't gotten an acceptance from him yet.
Training, Carolyn.
we haven't had anything except that offset. This is offset, in case y'all wanna know. You can't do cards, slick cards on a mimeograph very well. You can on this kind, and it's very satisfactory, and it's a type of mimeograph, but a little bit better. For instance, these envelopes were unprinted, and she took one of our government envelopes on here, so you wouldn't think it was no good mail and throw it out, and we just typed that in there, and that's offset too. We've had that, but no special printing. We will get the little certificates. You authorized us to have a little membership, 100% award, and I thought I'd call Harper's and have the little small one that the group approved the last part of last year.
Moving on down the list of standing committees, membership and credentials, Ms. Wood is not here.
She asked that you approve all of the attached members who have been cleared by the membership committee. And they have had 2 meetings, one in January, which was after your other meeting, that was circulated, and then one on February. If any of you didn't get them, I have extra copies on them. And so far we have 7 to 8. 4 of those were transfers here through AMA. They changed their cards, and other than that, that would make me approve about 74. One was declined, one that had been declined previously. She would like a motion that you approve the members.
Have you had a chance to look over this group? And if you have, what is your wish?
Might notice on that Holy Family is a new payroll, and Newton County is a new payroll deduction program, and also Vista Nurse came in last year, but they're still going out, I think almost 100%.
I'll make a motion that these names be approved. Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the members that the membership committee has approved. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. Registry, Ms. Honeycutt.
The Registry Committee met on Tuesday, January 30th, 1968 at St. Joseph's Infirmary School of Nursing. A Rules Committee consisting of the following people was appointed: Helen Was, Chairman; Eunice Patterson and Janet Calhoun. Eunice Patterson was elected Secretary. The Rules Committee will review and refine the procedure manual at the registry, as well as work with the Private Duty Section Rules Committee, combining the suggestions we expect to receive from the Conference of Directors of Nursing Service of Metropolitan Atlanta. The conference has a call meeting scheduled on March 13th. We had a communication from the council saying that they had reviewed all the information that the private duty nurses had sent in, and that our subcommittee had been appointed. Miss Helen Graves, Chairman, Miss Ruth Henley from Piedmont, and Miss Howard from Georgia Baptist. And they had worked, I don't know how many meetings they've had, but they have worked on these things, and they said they felt that to give us a concise report would be better and more helpful to us than just to offer suggestions. So on that 13th meeting, subcommittee will bring the report back to the total committee, and we expect to hear from them after then. And it really appears that they are working real hard to work out something to have a central registry. Now, if private duty will accept what they're doing, then we're on the way. But the executive committee of the private duty section is very hopeful of doing something about this, and it's with this committee that the Rules Committee of the Registry hopes to work to come up with something that's really workable. On February the 27th, there were 54 RNs and 24 LPNs who had joined the registry. It seems that the reason they're not joining is that they want to wait and see what happens. And of course this is bad because we have no way of knowing what we can or can't do, and we're $500 short of having enough money to last until the 1st of April. There was a letter that came to the registry committee. In February we didn't have a quorum. No, yes, February we didn't have a quorum. January we had a meeting. And it was brought up at this meeting, and it's been brought up many times before, whether or not actually the registry committee as it's set up is qualified to rule on these questions such as this letter brings up, whether peers can actually handle problems of behavior or ethics or any of these things. And the feeling was of those people who attended the registry committee that maybe we ought to either look at our registry committee or else appoint a separate committee to rule on or to review these things. And someone has suggested that we have a professional committee of 5th District, and perhaps they would be the likely ones to review these things. So I have this letter from Dr. Clinkscale Jr., where a nurse, and I won't call any names, but a nurse, this is the kind of thing so that you'll know what I mean. A private duty nurse without any invitation from anybody took it upon herself to go into a patient's room who was going to have, was necessary to have a leg amputated, and this person happened to be an amputee herself, and she told this young girl that under no circumstances should she have her leg removed. Well, it created quite a bit of trouble and trauma for the girl and her family, and the doctor feels that the nursing profession should do something about this kind of behavior.
That committee is going to meet on the 12th. Miss Woody has made an appointment at Ponce de Leon on professional practice.
But wouldn't this board have to do something, since in the past these kinds of things have been taken up by the registry committee? We don't have anything in our bylaws that would cover this, but in our rules, registry rules, we have had. So I just wonder if it would take some action from the board to pass these things on.
Was this nurse a member of the district?
Yes.
How about the registry?
Registry, yes.
Then I think it's within our power, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You didn't bring any recommendation at all.
We didn't have
you
a
would like
quorum.
some discussion of it
Mhm.
here, is that?
This
what
was
I
brought to
understand?
our meeting where we didn't have a quorum, and so I'm bringing it on to the board.
There's one thing, if you would like for me to say this. If she is a member of 5th District, then Fifth District certainly, along through the channels here too, you have a right to bring a member to trial for whatever conduct it may be, and whatever you decide, whatever the group decides, and it would have to be. And if you think that she shouldn't be, I mean, that she shouldn't be allowed membership, then it would go all the way up, you see, the channel. But you would have to bring it to trial.
You bring it before this board.
Or
Bring her before this board.
And she'd have a chance, of course, to defend herself.
And what
The
about
only
this
penalty
professional-
would be loss of membership in the organization, though. Any discipline would have to come from, I'm asking for a point of information, because I have been chairman of the professional practice committee, and it was my understanding that the only thing we could do is withhold membership, and finally it would be the licensure that would have to do something more than this.
To
Is
keep
it
her from
not true?
practicing, then, of course, I think then, you see, you would come on into A&A would pick it up, even it would go that high.
Yeah, but
Right
all
on
we
through
could do is take away membership.
That's right. You'd have no right for,
To restrain her
the
from
license.
practice.
Well, don't we have the professional practices committee that would
That's all they
actually
could do, though, is just
go into
keep-
this, so.
Madam Chairman, the point I was bringing up that I would like to see something done about is not just this letter, but to change our pattern of how we have handled these kinds of problems in the past, because with peers handling these kinds of things, private duty nurses handling private duty problems, because the register committee is made up largely of private duty nurses. If everybody came to the meetings who belonged, it wouldn't be that way. But I think Sister Christian's about the only person that, besides private duty, who's there. I know there's one other. But
Miss Honeycutt, I just want to ask a question. Is this lady, does she take her call through the registry, or isn't she, if it's one I'm thinking about, doesn't she solicit her own from different hospitals
She
and do
takes-
double shifts?
She
and
solicits
so
through
that's what
the
I thought.
hospitals and takes
what I thought.
calls through the registry too.
And
She works more.
Oftentimes one hospital won't know that she's taking
That's
another
right,
call.
and she works 16 hours a
That's
day
right.
more than she works any other. So that's what I
So
understand.
she's really not under anybody's jurisdiction, actually, she just,
Well, she's under the registry and
I
she
mean, I
would
think
be
we need to
under.
do something.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
To me, she's working too much.
Well, I think that somebody needs to have some
This is why I need a
strength,
register with
authority,
all the calls through
instead
it.
of just,
Now, if this, Fifth District has the registry, you could certainly say that she takes no calls. I mean, you wouldn't let her belong to the registry, you'd have that right, but you couldn't have the right to keep her from practicing anywhere else, but you could say that she could not belong to the registry, you see, to get the calls through there, because that is your own right now.
as of the 1st of April.
Well, does the Committee on Professional Practice have some jurisdiction in that they have been elected to this committee? So it would seem as far as professional practice is concerned, it would seem to me that they are the voice of the board. Am I right?
Other than no committee has the power of the board unless you spell it out.
The committee
they
would
can
bring
take
it to the board, I
committee
should think,
bring
with
it to-
more, more information, more detail, follow through, just like the grievance committee, the medical society, they have grievance committees. But
the
this
board has to have-
professional
board has-
practices committee or whatever they are, would bring it to the board in much more detail or
Well,
follow through.
Well, they would take
Then
the
we
fine.
have
Yes.
the framework already,
Right.
what we need
And
then
access to
is
the state board too, and making recommendations
Right.
to them, and they do meet tomorrow if they would like to refer it to Ms. Woody's committee.
I move that we refer it to the, professional practices, what do you call it?
Committee on Professional Practice.
Committee on Professional Practice.
I second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we refer this letter from Dr. Clinkscales to the Committee on Professional Practice for their review and recommendation.
C-L-I-N-K-S.
Any discussion?
Clink.
She has the letter there.
All those in favor of this motion, please say aye. Opposed, no. The letter will be referred to the Committee on Professional Practice.
Madam Chairman, we have some, I don't know how new the material is, I wrote
read
all
and
the
write
material I
yours.
could get on that, and I have set aside all of the groups, and I thought Ms. Lewis would like to have those, but I may with you tomorrow, I possibly can. We did
Finish
send
it
them to
up.
Ms. Woody and to other members
And
of the committee.
recommendation to the board.
Thank you, Ms. Honeycutt, for bringing this to our
Well, remember, we need $500 more too.
May I make one
I'd like to ask
suggestion
a
on that?
question on that, excuse me, Carolyn, just a minute. This deficit, have you considered any, the dues that have been paid? This include the dues that have been paid?
No,
We
it
still
does
have the
not.
deficit. Okay.
Was there any recommendation from the committee?
We've been looking.
No, we didn't have a.
Carolyn, help me.
It did not.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Is it in writing?
No, it is not in writing, and I'll tell you what happened. Before I went on vacation, we wrote asking for the grant. We stated in the grant what we would like to do would be to deposit the dues in a separate account, not to be used, to be refunded in April. Before I left, Ms. Honeycutt's committee, Ms. Senate, referendum vote asking several things. I really don't have a report on those, but I do know the statement went out, and that nothing went out on the statements, that the chairman of the finance committee went down to the registry, and there was nothing except a routine statement, was no statement as to how the dues would be used. So we have not been committed in that manner. And it may be used and prorated, and what's left over for the people that have gotten services for 3 months should take care of the, because I know there's at least $2,000 worth of dues that were deposited this last month.
Madam Chairman, I think where that idea came from, that some of the nurses thought that their fee would be refunded if the registry did not stay open after April 1st. And I believe that if the tapes were replayed, that when Miss Mace made her financial report, she made that statement, but there never was any action one way or the other taken about it. I think that's where the whole idea came from.
Well, it is actually, we talked about it a great deal.
Well, that was last year
On
that
minutes.
action was taken,
But no action was taken, they're not recorded in your minutes, and nothing was sent out in writing to the members.
It was my understanding, from before, and I talked at the registry committee meeting, it was my understanding that it would be prorated, that the funds could be used, for the months of service that were given. This makes sense to me. And then if the registry closed, if they paid a whole year, the registry closed, the balance would be returned. And this is the way it was, I know, when I sat on the board before. So I don't see why we can't use funds that they have received services for.
That makes $3,850 that we'd have to go on to the, if we could do this.
Well, as I hear it, there's nothing to keep us from doing it. Am I right? Was
There's
is
nothing
this
in
the
your
feeling of the
minutes,
board?
nothing recorded in your minutes, and you have approved the minutes as they stood. And the only thing that I could find in writing, I think you asked them 4 things on your referendum vote. I didn't see them because when I came back, the statements were out, and I don't have the vote. You asked them whether they wanted to write them a full letter, and if they wanted to write
That's
numbers of
right.
things, but I never saw the answer to those. And I asked Miss Mace, did they send out a memo? And she said no, that she herself had stuck the statements. Went down there and said she'd get them out, and she had to do them by herself. So it took her 2 days, and she got the statements out. But there was nothing in writing as to how the monies would be used.
If it's anywhere, it's on September 4th.
Well, I looked because I felt that way when we were writing to A
It would be
and
on
A.
the tape,
to,
not in the minutes.
On the tape.
We have all the minutes on tape that we have.
I think another thing, if the private duty group, you know, Ms. Honeycutt said some of them weren't joining the registry because they weren't sure what's gonna happen to the registry. If they knew that the dues would be prorated, maybe we'd get more members. But if they're just gonna sit back and say, well, the registry's gonna close this month or next month, and they're not using the registry. So I really think the communications regarding the dues do need to be clarified and made known.
Not only that, I think it would be nice if the nurses knew actually what action was being taken and what the nursing service directors are doing and what results we get on the 13th and all those kind of things I think would influence what they did or did not do. So if some sort of communication could be sent out, it would really be good.
You have a letter prepared to go out as soon as the meeting place is confirmed to all private duty nurses, all registry committee members, all advisory committee members, and all concerned with the management and operations of the registry. We're only waiting for the confirmation. The letters were addressed last week in the envelopes.
That just doesn't reach those that don't belong, haven't belonged in the past, and they need 500.
Well, I really don't know how we would reach them if they have not belonged to the district. Because a notice will go to each member of the district.
Maybe the
Private duty section.
hospital administrators or somebody will post it at the different hospitals so that people have opportunity to read it.
As I've been listening, I don't believe there's a motion or any action needed at this moment. But we'll certainly try to keep the people who are concerned with this informed as best we can. Ms. Overton is not here.
She will meet immediately after the 13th with her, or at least I understand that she will have a meeting after the group meet on the 13th.
Public relations, Ms. Hale's not here. Ms. Wells is not here. Perez, Mary Carter. I believe that we can go down to the report of sections. Were you to bring a report? You came instead of Ms. Mallory?
No, it was either or. Either one of us wanted,
The administrators, Ms. Grosskreutz.
We, I think, had a meeting since this board met, and I had Mr. Gilbert from Georgia State speak to us. We have another meeting in April, and hope to get someone to talk to us about area-wide planning and its implication for nursing service. But we also are thinking about sponsoring a one-day workshop and select some principal of Nursing Service Administration and develop that. And I felt that before we went too far, we needed to go to the board for your sanction. We don't need any money or anything, but we don't think unless we get in trouble. But, is there any objection to a group doing this?
Does anybody wish to voice any objection to the administrators carrying on a workshop, a one-day workshop?
I'd like to voice approval. I'd like to ask that you invite in service education.
Well,
I
this
think,
is,
Or share your results with us.
this is all in the planning stages now, and I felt we needed to come to you first. There's a chance that we might be able to do it jointly with the state NSA section, in that they're planning, would like to have one too. And we thought we'd, of course, notify our members and then send notices out, and anyone else that would like to come may come. Now, we also thought we'd charge some registration fee. There's no objection to that either, I hope. That's why we don't need any money.
I think there's not only
Have you seen
no
that?
objection to it, I think there's interest and approval of it. Ms. Rosecrans, thank you. General duty, Ms. Bussey.
She did call in and said she'd send more notices out. She sent them. We didn't have enough cards when she went on the last meeting. We sent notices for the bulletin board, and she rather liked that, so she said she would be getting them out, hoping that y'all would help her get members in attendance.
Ms. Langford hadn't gotten here yet. Public health, Ms. Hanson.
We had one, meeting in February, nice program. And, of course, we're planning for this, programs for the entire year. I think we have a real active program committee, and, we're looking forward to having some real good, we'd like to have all public health, agencies to, join us. It's the second Thursday in the month. And I know the parking is a little bit difficult over there at 99 Butler Street. But we do wish that all the public health nurses, all of you would tell them, be sure and be there in April.
Private duty, Ms. Stedman isn't here.
She said to tell you they had 16 present. They did make their suggestions for the ballots to go in, and they did fill the executive committee on that. And while we're on that subject, may I ask permission, Ms. Honeycutt, would you mind giving Miss Woody that letter if I send it by mail? She may not get it in time for the meeting tomorrow.
I'm not at Emory, but I'll stop by.
Oh, you're not? Well,
I'm
we'll
at
get it.
Western Woods, so
We'll
I'll
get it to
stop
her.
by.
If she had the meeting tomorrow at 3:30, I'm afraid the mail wouldn't get there in time. I thought you were Emory.
That's all right. I'll stop by there and leave it. If she's on duty, I'll do that anyway, and then she can stop by Emory and get it if she happens not to be on duty.
Ms. Stedman asked me to ask you if it would be all right with the board for Mrs. Lewis to attend their next meeting. Is there any objection to this?
I just wish she'd been at the last one.
But we're not going to talk about the last one. I hear no objection, so Ms. Lewis, we appreciate very much if you could be with them.
Thank you. I
Oh.
can. I'm enjoying it, but I can't.
We have a letter of resignation. I wish to inform you that I must resign as Secretary of the 5th District GSNA due to a conflicting schedule at Georgia State College where I am presently enrolled. I will certainly continue to support the District Association in every way I can possibly can, and will be grateful for those who do serve this need. Sincerely, Sarah Templeman. What is your wish regarding this, the letter of resignation? I just asked her if she would withdraw it, and she said no, she couldn't.
I move we accept it with regret. I think that's too bad to have to resign.
Well, I have a more conflicting schedule next quarter and I have this one, that's why I'm can't live.
No, that's just, oh, yeah.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept, Mr. Templeman's, Mrs. Templeman's resignation with regrets. And we do regret very much that you have to, but we understand. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. And that brings us then to the matter of electing to serve the Ms. Templeman's unexpired term, a secretary.
I'd like to, seems like I'm making all the motions, but I wonder if Miss Annie Lou Overton she's here, isn't she? Would she, I'd like to move that we nominate her for it. It's a nomination, I guess.
Any other nominations?
Ms. Stedman also asked that we put Ms. Baron's name on it too. She has not consented to serve. Ms. Overton has.
Ms. Overton has agreed to.
Yes.
Who is Ms. Baron?
She's on the private duty group. They're gonna, send the name in, submit it for September. And so she just asked this afternoon if we present her name, Louise Baron.
Are there other nominations? I might add that Ms. Overton did say that she would serve if elected.
What is the point of reference? Do we elect her, does the group on Thursday? I mean, who does the board? The board.
Since we
Your
don't have
term
Ms.
is up
Baron,
in
we don't have
September,
her
that's
consent.
right, isn't it? Thought I had checked
She just
that.
suggested it.
All those in favor of Ms. Overton filling the unexpired term for Mrs. Templeton, please say aye. Opposed, no.
It's T-O-N.
Thank you.
Oh,
Ms.
M-A-N.
Baron is one of the
Temple Man.
Ms. Stedman has indicated that due to heavy schedule, she cannot continue on the membership committee.
We have one person, Madam Chairman, may I tell you, Mrs. Elizabeth, I don't know how to pronounce, is it Vaughn or Vaughn? She's from the Miss Rosecrans Hospital at South Fulton, has been attending all of the membership committee meetings.
Waugh, isn't it?
Waugh. Waugh.
W-A-U-G-N.
Yes, well anyhow, she has been attending all the meetings, but of course has not voted and been most interested person. So, Ms. Gaiman asked if she would, be willing to serve if the board should elect her, and she consents. She's been going there because for safety at night, have someone to go with her, and she's helped with the programs in some of the other hospitals.
Well, I think directors and
did you
assistant
second that?
directors have been invited, and she's assistant director.
Yes, but she would have a voice this way and being able to vote, unless they have others in mind.
Would you, like to nominate Ms. Wall? Would you like to nominate anyone for this place on the membership committee?
Well, I didn't nominate Ms. Law. I didn't know she had been approached, but if she said she would,
Well, it's hard to get people
We
to
told them
attend
to
her
ask
since
you
she
about
is
it. We
willing
called
to
last week because
attend.
we knew it was coming up to see if she would be willing to and to ask you, you know.
And I'm a member of that committee, and she has been most interested.
She hasn't
and does
missed any of
come
them.
to all the meetings.
How you
I
spell it?
second it.
W-A-U-G-H.
Are there any other nominations? Are there further nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of Mrs. Wall being on, taking Ms. Stedman's place on the membership committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, we need one more committee replaced. We might as well do it now while you're into it, because the program committee, which must be really getting to work now on your Nurse Week program, and Elizabeth Bennett, I have never been able to get in touch with her at all. She hasn't been to any of the meetings to my knowledge. Has she, Miss Locke? In fact, you need some good workers on the program committee.
We've had 2 committee meetings, and both times people had excuses, and Mary Gammon surely worked hard on the friendship dinner at the time of the meeting, but it's just that the attendance at meetings evidently was not suitable to the other people to come. Now, Frances Hammett was willing to take one of the meetings and is responsible for this one. She's worked it up and put it on. But the time of meeting hadn't been suitable for our committee, to me. They haven't
Do I
come
understand
last
that
week.
we had an
Nobody.
acceptance
They
from
haven't
this
come.
person and we have not had a resignation?
We have not had a resignation.
brought
She
it
just
up.
hadn't been to any of the meetings, and we
But
hadn't been
did
able to
she
get
accept
it. Oh, so far, didn't you contact
Well,
all
now,
of them?
Caroline, what I understand is they have to miss 3 meetings. We've only had 2.
Well, I thought we'd had 3. It seemed to me that
No.
we'd had 3. Well, anyhow, we need some help.
Well, they haven't come to those 2.
I haven't. We'll wait on her then. I thought we'd had 3. We've had
Well,
some.
I appreciate the
come to
fact
the
you
next
really need some.
Because I've been trying all week to get in touch with Miss Colquitt to find out about the careers committee, and I finally got the number that's listed in this book yesterday, and they said that doesn't belong to us.
See, I'm giving her
And I've
trouble.
left word
'cause she
out
told
here.
me that the careers were supposed to start this, so
I
I'm waiting
told,
for 'em.
it was a joint affair with the careers and the program committee working jointly on Nurse Week, and we usually start early in the year, and we're going to have to make up for some lost time because.
But I've called many of them many times to get them that one time, the 2 times we met. And evidently night must be a better time for the program committee to meet.
Well, can you change the time? Is this the time?
I don't know. They haven't indicated. You know, they like men that turned without telling which
Oh,
way you're
so
gonna
you-
turn. They haven't said.
Well, now, I've indicated.
When
I
would
was
you
out of town
prefer?
one day and in school the other day.
Yeah, it hadn't been.
Anytime, just let me know enough ahead of time. Then you have to miss 3 to be, be missed 2.
I thought we'd had.
You better take my name off.
I don't want to do away with you, so we'll say that you know, worked over the telephone.
Well, that's true.
And
Well, I'm wrong on that. I thought we'd had
It's
3
just 2
meetings of the
meetings.
membership committee. We worked
now,
hard.
I'm talking about program. You talking about
Program.
membership?
Program, no, the program. Had so many meetings.
Yeah, well, we had 2 this time, and then we've done lots, you know, you and I have done.
No, she's got another one then. I've never been able to get in touch with it at all.
But we were waiting, the program committee was waiting for, let's see, who's supposed to call
Ms.
members?
Career. And I tried for a week to get in touch with her, and I've left word here for her to call me, and she hasn't. So I finally called yesterday, and they told me that number didn't belong to her.
Well, Chris Capples is on her committee. She called me and asked me when she's gonna hear from the chairman of the career committee. She has heard a thing.
Well, sister, you know how we can get in touch with Miss Crawford?
Did you call him?
I left word last Monday. A week ago, and asked, yes, and asked them to please have a call me, that was important. And then I've been calling the number listed in our little pink book, and couldn't get her there, and finally I called yesterday.
Well, I
and
tell you, last week was exam week, and that may very well be, because she was completely snowed, plus it was.
But I don't, evidently this isn't her home number that's in the little directory.
Well, we are at the point that, she accepted this, to be on the membership committee, and she hasn't resigned, so therefore we don't need to take any action at this time. We'd be real sympathetic with Ms. Lott and her committee.
Well, we met October and November. We haven't met since then. So it's just.
We have a recommendation from the Membership and Credentials Committee that a money-raising affair, either by raffle of an automobile or by having a dinner dance or entertainment program, be referred to the Program and Careers Committee for consideration.
Who made that recommendation?
Membership and Credentials.
Well, they were hoping somebody'd give us a TV, or there'd be some way. What they had in mind was maybe having Freddie come up and sing, you know, have some type of program like that, and have the girls sell tickets and so forth, and then they brought in about the other. They didn't say what time, so if you wanna.
Are they gonna do all of this?
Oh, they were going to help you. I don't know where we're gonna get the car, do you?
They ought to come to, just come to the regular meetings, and I feel good about it.
Maybe that can be referred to fall when we need, well, we need money raised, we need membership, we need money. And I think that was that intent there, that it'd be one way of publicizing. But if you did have a concert, or if you did have a dinner dance, or whatever you had, you were there when they were talking about it.
Yes.
Am I telling it right?
That's right. Sell tickets down at Davidson. Sell it to the public, you know? I mean, everybody else, all these other people, all these other sororities and beauticians and everybody else, they can raise money, you know? Without you getting somebody to give it to you, give them something for it. That's what we thought. That's what we thought.
Why can't we wait in the fall and have some real big program on that and raising the money and work on membership?
It didn't matter about when we do it. No, we just.
What do you wish to do about
We would
the
help on it.
recommendation from the Membership
Everybody
and
in the
Credentials
membership, and
Committee?
everybody comes. What did you say about the car?
This is the recommendation, that a money-raising affair, either by raffle or an automobile, or by having a dinner dance or entertainment program, be referred to the Program and Careers Committee for consideration.
Program and career.
They thought then
And then they
next
could
week, you know,
decide.
that maybe you could go ahead and have some kind of musical program, or the dinner dance, or maybe at that time, thinking perhaps it'd have something in the
We thought
auditorium.
we'd give them 3 chocolate.
Yes. Television, maybe somebody would give us a television.
We could meet John.
I told them I paid $350 for my lumley just with 5 members to help me, and got 89 people to a meeting. And we just worked on it about, and Miss Rosecrans, she helped. I mean, she sold tickets. I know she can sell tickets.
Yeah, just get Kay Hopper to mail tickets out to everybody, and you get about 6 envelopes worth of tickets.
Would someone like to, make a motion of some description so that we might discuss this?
Well, it seems all the board had to do was move that it be referred to programs in Korea, so I so moved.
I second it.
And moved and seconded that we refer the recommendation of the membership and careers committee to the program and careers committee for consideration.
That would have the appearance of a board sanction to give it to the committee though. Be sure you know what you're doing, not just passing it.
Be no objection, huh? See no
Otherwise, that
objection.
committee would still have to pass it.
Would there be any objection to having a money raising?
We've
I
had
mean, as
spaghetti
far as
parties in the fall,
taxes.
in several instances when the budget was so low.
Our parliamentarian reminds us that the motion that we have before us almost puts a stamp on it that the board approves such a program be developed by the Program and Careers Committee.
Well, could you add to this motion that it be sent to them for discussion?
That's what it says, doesn't it?
Yes, that's what we want it
Says for,
Be referred to consideration.
consider, for them to
You
consider it. They
you
can
wanna
turn
put
it
that,
down.
refer it back to the board, they'll know to refer it back to the board, whatever they
Refer it
decide.
to the
and if they
committee.
don't want it.
I would add that in that motion, otherwise you don't, cause, see, they had to bring it to the board. So now then, if the board refers this to this committee that they had suggested, it's like you say, okay, that's fine, you go ahead and do it. Now, if you want this committee to report back, then tell them when to report. See the difference?
And I'll add and report back to the board.
Yeah, or is she
She's
just
adding it to her,
added
okay.
I think she should have the right to
When is
refer it back.
May 6th
She
through
ain't got
the
any
12th, I
help.
confirmed it this morning.
Yeah.
Somewhere it was the 12th, but it wasn't, that's the one you're supposed to be
And
down.
otherwise, it's.
This is the careers committee that we're referring it to.
Not
Program
really.
and
Program and
Program,
careers.
excuse me,
Program
I-
and careers.
Yeah. If they don't, we had in mind if they thought that it wasn't feasible and that they couldn't get this done, that they could send a note back and say they didn't think. I mean, this is all, it was nothing, you know.
It was just a fill.
Yes, that's right. It was not a,
And y'all meant you would like to work with it.
yes, that's right, Aunt Miss Atkins.
Fine.
Everybody on, and we had about
Everybody
12
seconded it?
people. I did.
It's a very enthusiastic committee. If all of them worked as
Everybody's
much as
always
that
saying,
membership committee, we wouldn't have any problems at all.
Yeah, I know they'll, everybody's
Miss Stanley's on the committee, she wrote the motion
Isn't
down.
that right, Miss Stanley? Miss Stanley, ain't that right now?
Since we can't get the program committee, we might
That's
do
what it
them
is.
jointly.
Well, you are sponsoring membership too, you know, in your recruitment efforts.
It has been moved and seconded.
Cause you know that, yeah, that'd be good, cause I think our program committee can't come.
It has been moved and seconded that the recommendation of the membership committee be referred to the Program and Careers Committees and report back to the 5th District DSNA Board. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no.
No.
We will note there is one negative vote. Carol.
I think this might, do it, particularly if we have a long of it, so she can get anybody want them out.
Extras and everything.
Call Korea and
Except bylaws. And I tell you what, in case, in the event that anybody wants these to write on while we're nominating them, I brought you some extra ones on those. I'm so afraid they'd start talking about
Boy, I
money
sure
and
like
figures.
them. You know, if you could just get
We can pass these around. And these will be the ones that can fill them in of the things we have to fill, and then I've got the papers to tell you about them.
Here's your membership committee.
Those are the offices that will have to be filled, and then the names of the people that come off. The 6 sections are notified and given a deadline on that for the simple reason that we have to notify them and get the Yes, I said, the sections all got them, the rest of the board did not.
Yeah, that's for the, she's supposed to get, she's on the clerk and staff.
Well, she knows you.
Who's not on it anymore?
Yes,
I took her.
You want some extra ones?
Those are the offices to be filled. I was trying to find you the papers of the ones that just came off. Coming off.
Pages that have just been, sent to you. The first page
I got the wrong one.
is suggestions for the ballot of 5th District GSNA. And, officers to be elected. The first one is the first vice president. Ms. English is currently the first vice president.
Yep. And those are the ones from districts that are coming off, and here are the ones from the state board that are coming off.
All of them are eligible except
All
one direct.
That's right, and yes. Yeah,
Would you like to,
copy of both of them.
would you like to recommend someone or nominate someone?
Thinking about.
Well, if for the sections, and this has been sent out to the sections.
All sections were sent those,
Yeah.
and the time was given that each section would meet during the interim between now and the deadline to get them back to us.
Well, I think
And
that-
that's April the 14th, and we will open it to the floor, and we have to Thursday.
Mhm.
And then, in the meantime, we'll have to have all of them back, biographical sketches, by May 1st. They're not due in the state until June 1st, but we have the convention coming up, and we will be tied up in our nurse week. So we ask that all of them be back in the office May 1st. But all sections will have an opportunity to make their
I'd
suggestions.
like to take this up in the section.
There will be suggestions from all sections, but these that we're asking for now are suggestions from the board. You might consider yourself a section if you'd like to. They're just suggestions to give the nominating committee some basis, some beginning point to work. The further suggestions for the office of first vice president. Hearing none, we'll go to the office of secretary.
Ms. Overton.
Ms. Overton has been suggested.
Ms. Atkins, who was the other one we mentioned tonight?
Are you talking then about state or
This is
district? District, oh, the other one, Ms. Barong, and she will come from the private duty section.
let's, I suggest Ms. Barone, and I also like to suggest Mrs. Mary Steiger.
Ms. Overton, Ms. Wrong, and Ms. Stodgel have been suggested. Are there further suggestions for the office of secretary? Hearing none, we'll move on to directors. There are 3 to be elected. That's the wrong one. There are presently Sister Mary Louise Battle, Ms. Jacqueline Graves, and Ms. Inez Stanley. And you marked these two, didn't you, Carolyn, I believe they're all eligible for re-election.
I'd like to suggest Mrs. Margaret Hasty.
Margaret Hasty has been suggested for a director.
Francis Hammett.
Francis Hammett. Sorry.
I'd like to suggest Jody Todd.
Jody Todd.
T-O-D-D?
J-O-D-I-E.
Jody Todd. Further suggestions?
The Todd is in as a
Yes, I think so. Ms. Hastings, Public Health.
How about Margaret Ford? Wouldn't she be good?
Margaret Ford. Any other suggestions?
Sister Mary Battle.
Sister Mary Battle has been suggested.
No, let you get off.
Battle Mary. Mary Lewis.
Louis
Louis
Mary Battle.
Louis Mary Battle. Louis, how do you go about this? Louis Mary Battle.
Mary Lewis.
Louis
Mary.
Louis Mary Battle.
That'll quit repeating. Are there further suggestions for directors?
I'd like to suggest Catherine Pope. Can she do? She's on the state. Is that any conflict?
Not at all. We ought to get
Any more? We have 3.
three vacancies.
3 vacancies.
Well, of course, Sister Louis Mary Battle be.
Well, we got her.
There'll just be 2 besides. Miss Stanley could.
Oh, you elected her now, I see. Any further suggestions? If not, we'll move on to the chairman of the Committee on Nominations.
Miss Sachs was on, and she was on the time before, so she cannot succeed herself.
Who else is on that committee?
Yes, let's see who's on the committee now. Jacqueline Graves, Sister Louis Mary, Miss Myra Mann, Frances Bussey, Mrs. Madeline Wade, and Miss Isla Stacks.
What's that?
Those are the members that were on last year on the nominating committee and that are on now. We were just looking to see who presently is serving on that committee since Miss Sachs could not succeed herself.
Councilman Wade would do it, he was supposed to.
Miss Atkins, do you know
Suppose
the
maybe
Riley,
Wade would do that.
Miss Riley that's out at
she's
Holy
right
Family, do you know her
busy
first
with
name?
Riley? I don't know it right offhand. I think we have her, but I don't
I
recall.
think she's a member, I was just gonna suggest her for the nominee.
Well,
She's
we'll-
acting director right now.
We'll find her name. What's, oh, she's taking Miss Buffington's place? Well, I'm sure we have her. She sent us in 5 from Isaiah. She's one of the new members.
Miss O'Reilly or Riley?
I think it's just Riley, Riley. Did you say put Beth?
No. No, she left Holy Family. Excuse me, are there other suggestions for chairman of the nominating committee?
Maybe Miss Buffington is not at home with me.
What about Myra Mann?
Be fine.
Miss Buffington,
She's out in the country now.
Woodstock. She's been in Roswell for a long time.
who's that, Miss Buffington? She is with this.
She liking her new
40
job.
acres of land.
Keeping house.
She's not working.
She's already left Holy Family.
I thought she was up in Holy
What's going on? I'm bad as anybody. Are there further suggestions for the chairman of the nominating committee?
Mrs. Rowell.
Hearing none, we'll proceed then to the suggestions for the Georgia State Nurses Association ballot. There also, the first vice president will need to be elected. Presently, Ms. Jean Lepkirka is the first vice president.
Is she eligible for re-election?
Yes.
I would like to give
Mrs. Lepkirka. Further suggestions?
Mary Woody.
Mary Woody. Lebkicher. Any other nominations? Mrs. Lemkirk and Miss Woody have been suggested. The secretary needs to be elected, and presently that's Mrs. Nellie English, and she is eligible for re-election.
I suggest that she be re-elected.
Easy way.
You probably won't do that time.
Are there other suggestions?
It means you put her name on the ballot.
This is the state now.
State level.
Okay.
That's a job, isn't it? Big secretary.
Works Joe.
She's working on private duty right now.
You can't get
What about Brian? What's
Thing
Brian?
down in the house with plumbing.
private duty nurse.
Oh.
Down there, Preston down there.
Boudica?
No.
She's
She's very good. I know her name. You just want me to put her down here for Columbus, I'll find it and put her in there. Right this minute, I can't think. I've been going in
For
circles.
those of you who went to the convention, it was,
You gonna make my job hard?
oh,
Martin.
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 Evelyn
Evelyn Martin, yes. She's good.
What's her name?
Evelyn Martin.
Are you doing her
Private
secretary? She's a
secretary.
live wire.
Secretary. I bet she.
What, the secretary?
Any other
And
nominations?
I say,
She's private duty. She's on one patient, she go home, go to bed there at night. She's been a long time.
Working out at Cobb General in service.
What's left, I think?
Oh,
Left.
Cobb General, so I don't, they're getting ready to open.
any other suggestions?
Don't do that deliberately.
There are two directors to be elected. Ms. Myrtle Tomlin, and she is not eligible for re-election, and Sister Mary Paula, who is eligible for re-election.
Leave Sister Mary Paul on there.
Sister Mary Paula?
Yeah.
Sister Mary Paula has been suggested.
Miss Joanne Goodson.
Ms. Joanne Goodson.
NSC, she is.
Any other suggestions? Hearing none, and if you think about them, you will have another change Thursday to suggest. We will go to the chairman of the nominating committee. I'll say it correctly, chairman of the committee on nominations. Presently, Mrs. Pauline English is chairman. And on the committee, Sister, is that Maria Antoinette? And Ms. Fair Livingston, Ethelyn Smith, and Beverly Robinson. Committee on Nominations, Chairman.
Suggest Miss Merle Lott.
Committee on nominations.
Stated.
Oh, no.
Write it down.
I got it for you, Merle.
How about Martha Roper? What is she doing?
Martha Roper has, what?
I'll suggest her.
She's from Athens still, isn't she?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I'd rather be on the board of directors. She doesn't want it, she won't serve.
Well, you done such a good job on this.
I had 2 meetings.
By yourself?
No, I had friends there.
Oh.
Are there any other nominations, please, for chairman of the nominations?
Laura Shaw.
Laura Shaw. Is she a member of this district?
Yes, she is.
She is.
I think she's
Grady.
Grady.
I know she's in Grady, I didn't know what
L-A-U-R-E, I think, isn't it?
I think it's just
L-U-R.
our L-U-R-A. Laura.
L-U-R.
Who is
Betty Blake.
the Reed girl?
She's there now.
Still the person
Her
back
membership,
from school.
evidently a membership came through this month.
Mine,
Oh,
Ruth Reed.
Ruth.
Ruth Reed, oh.
Want her on here?
That's the question. I can, I guess, yes. I forgot.
Miss Ruth Reed.
Any further nominations for chairman of the nominating committee? All in favor, Ms. Jones?
Did you decline, Ms. Lott?
Did you?
No,
Merle?
she didn't.
I didn't think the others heard you, that's the
I
reason I was.
scratched it off.
Well, let's put her up for board of
Board of
directors.
directors,
She said
that's
she's
right.
on.
That's
All
when
right.
it doesn't have anything to do.
Uh-huh.
She wants to be on the board.
You have to travel,
After
go to
2 hard
meetings.
days, that should just.
Well, you had
You'll know
to
what's
sing
going
hard
on.
work.
I've
You
done
sit
it
through
before.
one of those
Oh,
things,
That's all right.
get to know what's going on.
Um,
Just
I've been there too. All day and all night, all night and all day. Was pretty bad.
Any further nominations, suggestions? Hearing none, we'll go to the members
You have
of
one,
State Board of Examiners.
one person, a member of this board, if she hasn't already been elected, has prayed to be a member of that State Board of Examiners. And her name's Cynthia Mallory. And
Well,
I think
that's
you-
pretty,
She has, she really has, I mean,
I
that's the one thing
understand.
that she wants to do more than anything that she knows. And
I'd
she's
love to see
currently
that.
on, unless they've elected her, and I don't know that they have, or I haven't seen anything.
No,
in-
she's not now.
She's not.
I'm sure of that.
I think there was an item in the paper which I did not see, but
Miss Sale and Miss Hudson was re-elected
really,
by the, reappointed by the governor.
and that's already done.
Yes, did you
Well, this is for
expect?
next time.
What did you expect?
It was supposed to go on the ballot, as I understand, and did not get on the ballot.
But, Ms. Moore, Catherine Moore, you know, practical nurse.
Cynthia Mallory has prayed to be on this
Miss
committee,
Barr, when did you see that
on this
in the
state
paper?
board.
Well, Miss Sale's name was in the paper,
Yes,
but Miss
oh,
Moore, who
EATC
was
teaches it in.
appointed to the,
Well, this is for
practical nurse
next year.
board, said that Miss Hudson was sworn in
Supposed to go
just
on the
before
ballot.
her.
Well, this
my
really
understanding.
is, I think it's already done then, Ms. Armstrong, we can start for next year.
Yeah, well, this is for
next
next year.
We do a year in advance,
We really have to work.
because we have to suggest, elect and then suggest it to the governor. He appoints.
How many, can we, any number, huh? Cause I mean, they, evidently, they can just go on and on, cause
Well,
those
there's
people are on there.
certain specifications,
There's only one that expires, according to what you have given me, there's only one that expires this time, and I believe we can have 5 names for that one.
They can't be from more than so many from the same school of nursing. Or Miss Mallory is from, Johns Hopkins, I believe, but anyhow, she isn't one of the Atlanta hospitals.
I'd like to put Mrs. Evangeline Lane's name on here. From Crawford Lawn. She's doing what we have another governor.
She consented last time, or at least one time.
I like to suggest Sarah Helen Kilgore.
Who's appointed for 4
Kilgore.
years?
Yes, Sarah Helen
This is his
Kilgore.
first year.
She's director of the school at Piedmont.
What's her first name?
Sarah Helen.
Sarah Helen.
Can I say Piedmont?
Bernice Dixon has been suggested.
Sarah Helen Kilgore is EACP, if you ask.
I think
I
all
think
of
Bernice
these are.
is too.
Well, can we have more than one from each section?
They just have to be different hospitals.
It's logical that these two from EACP. Miss Graham, Louise Graham. She's not eligible for the Oh, I don't know about that.
Some has been on there long.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them been on there for 20 years, ever since I've been identified.
Well, why don't we get a law passed in Georgia that they can only serve about 6?
What we really
Because
need
the
to do,
governor appoints these, and he appoints
Well,
whom he
let's make him
pleases.
some new rules.
you know, what we really
He
need
is
to do.
supposed to take it from the list that we send, but
What we really need to do as a professional group is to set the qualifications that the governor has to use, because this is really the problem. There are no qualifications, I think you and I are in problem.
We
Not
still have some
professional, I mean, as
printed
far as
ones that they
education,
send
there's
out.
not educational criteria.
These may be obsolete, but the EATC section had worked on some recommendations, and I believe that GSNA did approve those. And what happened to them, I don't know. It's been about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe, before you came. Before you came. But the EATC section did. And that's when they made the recommendation that they be in the ballot, on the ballot. As I understand, these did not get on the ballot, so.
Well, the only way we can control it, of course, is control the names of the people who are suggested to the governor, because he's presently gonna do what he wants to.
Well, the
We
board
can't
of
even-
GS&A does that. The
Well,
board
he
of
can
GS&A.
reappoint who's already on there.
And anybody
Even if they
can,
haven't been suggested?
anybody can send in names. It doesn't have to be just this board, I don't believe. I think anybody, individual.
They talk to state,
I'll send you a copy of the sketch she sent, let me make a note.
See, they've been suggested one time, there's no law that says that they can't serve for this.
That's it. He can reappoint. That's what's happening.
Are there further suggestions, so you know, it's nothing like try again, and first you don't succeed.
Do you think it's good to put Ms. Grant's name back on or not, or you think this is completely out of the running?
Somebody in his family are nurse. You don't know your business.
Are there any further suggestions? Hearing none, that completes the officer's vacancies to be filled. Nurse week on here.
That's what we've got to plan, do something very definite about Nurse Week. It's going to be May 6th through 12th. And we usually, have, you have your meeting, which we're supposed to have, and you've got your board meeting that week until we get the bylaws changed. We're still supposed to have a meeting. And I believe you've got something planned already for Grady, haven't you? Are you gonna have it on that day?
No,
or
I've
you
got
gonna
a-
have a-
The next program is, one that I had planned, just the regular program committee. Aren't we gonna have it?
We're supposed to. We have to
It's
have it.
Dr. Williams in May, Harry Williams is accepted. And that will be during that week, won't it? Are we gonna have that meeting?
According to bylaws, we should. May 10th.
Do you have some suggestions that you would like to offer? The chairman of the program committee is present. The careers committee is not, I don't believe, right?
I was suggesting if we get a date, we could meet with the membership committee, our careers and program. Wouldn't it be in keeping, since this is, such a peppy membership committee? We could just meet all of us together.
Well, they will meet. I just saw Ms. Wood yesterday, and I'm to send out notices, and they will meet over at Ponce to Lynn Infirmary on the 27th.
How's that on Wednesday?
Which is on a Wednesday.
At 5:30.
5:30. And I'm gonna send out notices, so if your committee would like to do it, I'll go ahead and send one to careers too. It's a good committee.
Well, we can't very well come and meet with them unless we ask them.
Well, I think Ms. Woodward would be very happy to have you
So
because.
I'd have to ask.
All right, you ask.
I'll
Let me know.
call
Because I asked her yesterday, could you have your meetings
Could you
there?
ask, I'm in a membership, committee meeting at Stone Mountain all week.
Well, I asked her yesterday when I went to Ponce to Lynn, if, we couldn't have it where we've been having it, because it'll last long as a rule on this type of program. Would it be all right? And she said Mr. Griffith was always happy for us to use it, and there's no parking fee.
Well, I mean,
and
we
they
can't come
always
in on
cordial.
her meeting unless you would like for us to at that time. I was gonna suggest another date, but that.
You could
we
follow
have
her
till
meeting, and
very
anybody
late.
wanting to stay could, or if you wanna have a joint meeting with them, because the membership committee has really been active.
I would like to meet with them if they would not mind.
They wouldn't
You would.
mind.
You don't think so? No, that's why they were
Well,
trying to help you
let's
suggest
invite
programs.
our program and careers to meet on the 27th at 5:30 at Ponce de Leon. Would you send out the notices? Now, how can you do it on careers? You have to get them to call me.
Well, I can't get in touch, unless Miss Parker calls me, if somebody will tell her to call me, I'll be most happy, because I really have called for a week. And, somehow we missed connections there, and we.
Can you meet them, Mother?
Wednesday, 27th.
What time?
I thought you already had something for me lined up for something that day.
No, that's the 20, oh, I haven't got my own. Well,
It is 27.
well then we could just come on to that meeting, 'cause this one's 5:30.
It's calling, can I be out for the
It's
month
a
of
3
March?
o'clock. What was that?
You were gonna be lead
Jointly.
coordinator.
Yeah, that's right.
Programs.
Let me make a notation now to be sure. I tell you, there's so many meetings going and so many people coming and all those cards coming in, having to decode them out from 8 o'clock to 12. And may I show you members that were not here earlier? We pulled all the plates in January, the people that, the mail came back, addresses unknown, and those were mailed Thursday, and we have that many back. People tell me I didn't get my notice, and unless they notify us, we can't keep up with them, and A&A can't either, but that many came back from Thursday's mailing. I opened 4 of them because I needed 4 more cards to send to some that were transferred here, and don't want to throw anything away.
I don't know any of them.
Is there any other business to come before this august body?
Move that we adjourn. I move that we adjourn, Madam
Second
Clerk.
motion.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
We didn't do too much damage.
Meeting
I'll
is
call her.
adjourned.
She already, yes.
Everybody can participate, and then plan which ones can do what best so that each individual member can have something to do. I think there's nothing that stimulates interest any more than if somebody is given something to do rather than just sit in a committee meeting. And again, I'm quoting what Mrs. Barman said, even in a committee meeting, if the person is new in the committee or a very young nurse, a young graduate, she will not be inclined to speak up about things unless she's given something in particular to work through. And then the chairman should be familiar with parliamentary procedure and with the bylaws, as I've stated before. Again, the agreement of the committee can be by consensus and so on, and yet parliamentary procedure should be understood so that there isn't any question about that. And then, insofar as possible, the chairman should keep in touch with the president of the district or the headquarters office, whichever is applicable for the particular district, so that they are constantly kept aware of what is done by the committee. And you don't want to regiment your committees, and yet you need to keep them within a certain framework. I've heard motions made in one committee that should not come in that committee, but it really is the province of another committee, and you're overstepping when you, when certain of your members say to give a recommendation to do thus or so about, well, say membership, if they're not on the membership committee and that sort of thing, unless they say to give it to the membership committee and that sort of thing. Then attendance, of course, is important, and you tell me how to get everybody there. I'll let you all figure that out, but it really is important. And if you find people who begin to attend, they're the ones that really function. And if we could stress that and try in every way possible to get the committee members to promised to serve on a committee, and then throughout the years, they've probably been to one meeting. Well, how do they know what their committee is doing? And, yet they're all voluntary workers, and many times, there are good reasons why, the member cannot come. And again, it's up to the chairman then to, in some way, through her secretary, or whichever way she might devise, to let the committee members know what has gone on. And I think sometimes when they're asked and either get a telephone call or a note telling what's going on, we missed you and we hope you'll be there at the next time, it will be more provocative to make them come to the next meeting than if they, than if their absence is not noted in any way apparently, except that they're just not marked present. You probably in all your districts have specific places for the committees to meet, and the committee should know about that too. I know when I was made chairman of a committee here in the state a good many years ago, I invited the committee to meet at my home, which was against the procedure and protocol, which I should have known if I'd read the things. I'm telling you what to do, not to do as I say, not as I did. But that can save embarrassment if the chairman does read through these things. Notices of meetings, of course, should be sent in plenty of time. And then the minutes, I've touched on them before, and how they should be written and that sort of thing is largely up to an English teacher, but it might be a good thing to have your forms and proper forms for your districts, and to follow national and state forms. It makes it much easier if everybody sends in the same sort of form for committees, and it might be helpful for each person, secretary of any committee, to have such forms to know by at least the procedure of writing, and that, for instance, that resolutions are written in the third person and things of that sort. Then, committees should remember that their actions should be referred to the board of direction. Their actions should be, or recommendations should be referred to the board of directors. That sounds obvious to a group like this, but yet you will find committees meet, and then they'll say, well, this was put through because we remember that it was because we met on such and such a date, but it has never been referred and has not followed, again, proper procedure to get the thing substance control association. Then, of course, your correspondence, the way you do it, depends upon how much money you have for stamps and that sort of thing, of course, in your organization, but I think the committee chairman sometimes takes money out of her own pocket for some of those. You have to. What you do in anything that you plan in the committee too needs to stay within the budget. And that's a difficult thing if the committee does not do that, because the committees have beautiful plans sometimes, and in a very short time, as I say, that I have served as at the League, I found this to be true. And they'll send in some recommendations that are perfectly lovely. It would be wonderful, but we have no money for that. And the committee needs to know something about the budget and know that they can't suggest things that you'd have to go back to a finance committee about and then back to the board in order to get enough money to finance what they are expecting us to do. So it might be well for every chairman to understand something about, is any amount of money allowed for your committee? Is it, and if so, how much for travel expenses and that sort of thing? I said that the beginning at how long that office is going to run, or how long it's gonna last, and not, and when it will terminate. And then I think on termination, how many people, and I've heard it, and I'm sure you have, I was a member of this committee, but I don't know whether I am anymore or not. It might be a good thing to let them, when they terminate too, and again, it would be up to the chairman to thank the committee member for, her help and so forth, and, enjoy having her, or what have you. It'd be up to her. Then, well-written minutes, of course, are awfully important. When there is a motion, they should be written so that you know who made the motion, who seconded it, and whether it was carried or lost. If some decision is arrived at by consensus, that should be stated in the proper manner. The minutes should have been approved, and if they're sent into the headquarters or to your district offices before approval, and at the next meeting that there are corrections made, these corrections should be so stated so that the minutes may be right in the headquarters offices. And specific forms, of course, again, maybe may or may not be given for.
Can I ask a question here? I don't know if I read this in parliamentary procedure or not, but it really is not necessary to get the person who seconds the motion.
No,
I know that we spend so much time, a lot of times, trying to, who seconds that. We really spend a lot of times, and it's my understanding that, just as long as it's seconded, because it wouldn't go for a vote unless it were seconded.
You may be
don't have
right,
to.
Woody. I think in a small committee, though, you'd know the name of the person. And it would be right if you put it down. In a larger place. I don't know. I have to have somebody, I'm not Esther Watts. I'm just substituting.
I believe I got that from Ms. Esty. Well, I think my idea was that if it was appointment of committees, you did not have to have a second. But if it's,
You have to have a second, but it's not necessary for you to get your name in the minutes of the person who seconds it. That's what I was.
In your committee, it's optional whether you want to carry it out in parliamentary procedure or just by consensus, but if you do, then you follow the same procedure with elsewhere. Then, there might be pertinent information for each members of the committee, and I have gone over that before. Each member should take an active part in the work. Each member should attend meetings if at all possible, and so forth. And members, whether or not the district or state wants to make any particular policy about how long they retain membership if they miss meeting after meeting or something to be taken up. And then, of course, as I said before, what has gone on in the committee should get to the headquarters office or to the president district. If the members, and this comes back to what's been discussed before, if members of one committee serves as a representative to another committee, she needs to speak for her committee and not for herself. That comes back to the same thing that we have talked about here, unless the committee tells her go and talk any way you want to. But if she's talking from one committee to another, she needs to have, if she's representing the committee, then she needs to represent the committee and know what the feeling of the committee is in her representation. Well, I apologize, Elizabeth, for this hit and miss. But
that's very nice information to have.
as I say, I picked up what I could in 2 days of a final examination week and trying to get everything else together. But I've enjoyed being here with y'all, and I've learned much more than I can give. And what I've given are things that I have really observed and feel strongly about, even if I haven't always done. So.
Any questions, any discussion you'd like to have on committees? I'd like to tell you that the Arrangements Committee, Dialogue Committee, Finance Committee, Headquarters, Legislative, Nominations Program, was the resolution acts at the convention, and Bulletin Committee, Careers Committee, Group Insurance, and the Memorial Committee are active. The rest of the committees function sometimes. Now, in your 1963 schedule, you're going to find that in here, we're going to be calling on the district presidents quite often for materials in the field. And this is for work in the office as well as material that we're going to need from you. On January, we will be sending to the presidents of the districts the names of the executive board, the elected officers who are now serving, those whose terms of office will expire at the convention, those names of nurses who would not be eligible for re-election, with the biographical forms for you to have your district. Suggest names, and for a biographical sketch to be filled out on each person that you list on the form that is designed for the president and the secretary to send to this office, to the chairman of the Committee on Nominations, with the biographical sketches. On the State Board of Examiners, you will be sent at the same time a list of the members who are serving on the State Board of Examiners and those whose terms of office will expire at a later date. They also be on this list there for you to sign with the secretary and then furnish the chairman on nominations. You will also be sent another request for you to submit at least one name and a biographical sketch to be presented to the board for the election for the suggestion for the governor to name as advisor to the Board of Examiners for Practical Nurses. Now, all of this material has to be in to the chairman on nominations by July the 1st. Then the nominating committee will have to meet and make up a ticket to bring to the board for the July or August meeting. And at the bottom of the page, for each month, that we will either hear from ANA or that we will have material to send back to ANA, we have recorded that information for you. In January, we will furnish ANA the totals of all the sections that we have for this year. And this is in February
Yeah, and then it tells, so we are notifying the appointment